Subscribe to this YouTube channel and please enjoy watching this video. Arsenal romped to a comfortable victory over Crystal Palace at the Emirates in the Premier League, ending a 4-game winless run in all competitions. There was one downside, however, as Declan Rice looked to pick up an injury during the win. A draw at Anfield against title rivals Liverpool then followed before back-to-back losses at the hands of fellow London opposition in the form of West Ham and Fulham. An FA Cup tie at home against Liverpool highlighted Mikel Arteta's side's poor form in front of goal as the hosts wasted several big chances and were ultimately punished with a 2-0 defeat. The 5-0 rout against Roy Hodgson's team lifted the North London outfit into third place in the table, level on points with Man City but behind on goal difference. With Liverpool still to play later in the weekend, Arsenal could still be 5 points off the top spot when the game week comes to a close. Meanwhile, it is 1 win in 12 matches in all competitions for Roy Hodgson's Palace, whose fans unveiled 2 banners towards full-time which read, "Wasted potential on and off the pitch, weak decisions taking us backwards and no shared vision, no structured plan." Crystal Palace hadn't been in the best form heading into the encounter either. The Eagles had won just one of their prior 9 league games. That barren run continued with a loss in the capital. Team news. Arsenal welcomed back Gabriel Jesus and Oleksandr Zinchenko from injury, with Jorginho and Jakub Kiwior dropping out of the team. Leandro Trossard started in place of Reiss Nelson on the left, with Gabriel Martinelli staying on the bench. Crystal Palace started Dean Henderson in goal over Sam Johnstone, while Jean-Philippe Mateta was picked over Odsonne Edouard up front. Declan Rice hobbles off an Arsenal win. Arteta will await the verdict anxiously. Rice has been one of the standout performers of the Premier League season, and this is why Gunners fans will be nervously awaiting the extent of an injury he appeared to pick up in the second half of the game. With his side 3-0 up, the England international limped off with what looked to be a hamstring injury. James Ollie of ESPN took to social media to claim Rice appeared to inform his teammates that it was in fact a hamstring-related issue, saying the word hammy. With some massive fixtures coming up and Thomas Partey still unavailable through injury, everyone associated with Arsenal will be sweating until they hear the results of scans that will likely take place. Arteta did comment on the injury after the game, as reported by James Benge of CBS. The Spanish manager said, "He was feeling some tiredness, I don't know exactly what muscle it was. When we're 3-0 up, you don't want to risk it. This will give supporters hope that it is not a serious issue and Rice will be back in action shortly." Trossard finishes off deadly Arsenal counter-attack. The move lasted only 10 seconds. Defending a Crystal Palace corner while 2-0 up, David Raya confidently vacated his line to claim the ball with assurance before the Spaniard spotted an opportunity to release Gabriel Jesus. His long throw reached the Brazilian forward just inside the Arsenal half, with Leandro Trossard showing a clean pair of heels to keep pace with his colleague. Jesus waited until the perfect moment to play the pass across to his Belgian teammate, and the former Brighton winger cut inside before rifling home with his stronger right foot. Dean Henderson was left with no chance, and there were only 10 seconds between Raya releasing the ball and the Palace net being rippled. This was the pick of the Arsenal goals. This added to 2 first-half goals to ensure Arteta's men would claim all 3 points. There was some controversy surrounding the initial 2 efforts, but there could be no complaints about the incredible, flowing break that led to Trossard's goal. Arsenal dominated proceedings, and Gabriel leapt highest to give the hosts the advantage in the 11th minute of the game after a good delivery by an unusual corner-taker Rice. The Brazilian centre-back was involved once more as his header from a Bukayo Saka corner, this time, found the net via a Henderson deflection. The controversy surrounding both goals came as Crystal Palace claimed a foul on both occasions, with Gabriel climbing above the Eagles' defender for the first goal, unfairly in the eyes of some. Ben White then stood in the way of Henderson before the second goal. 2 late goals from Gabriel Martinelli compounded the visitors' woes further. Hodgson Rue's referee calls on first 2 Arsenal calls. Crystal Palace manager Roy Hodgson. "They were good set pieces of course, but if you speak to our players, they will be a little bit aggrieved that there were infringements for both the goals. We weren't lucky enough to have those infringements recognized by the referee, so we find ourselves 2-0 down. Then, to compound things, we gave them the goal that really puts the game to bed from one of our corner kicks. Suddenly, we're 3-0 down. That ended all hope of us getting back into the game. The real disappointment is the last 2 goals, but I must take responsibility for that. Players were tiring and we thought, some fresh legs. The fresh legs were the young lads, and it was too much to ask for them to go on and deal with a rampant Arsenal. As a result, we lose the game heavily. I believe in the team. The fact is at the moment we are stretched to say the least. Our attacking threat when you lose Alice and Ayew at the same time is blunted. That will change when those 2 players come back. I don't think in the last games we've been outplayed that often. We've been in games, even against the Liverpools, Chelseas, Brightons, and the Arsenals. Today we were outplayed, in particular, towards the end of the game. Up to that period, the players stuck to their task. They showed that they're still committed and want to deal well for the club. The result decides everything. Those last 2 goals bring about the doom and gloom of the situation, as 5-0 is a bad defeat at any level. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta. I'm very pleased, clean sheet and 5 goals, win the game and performance. I had a really good feeling after we left the stadium after Liverpool. The performance was there, but the results were not. Today we were much more efficient in the opponent's box, particularly than the last few games. Last few games we had moments playing better than today, but this is about scoring goals. Set pieces are a big part of us, especially against teams that want to defend deeply. It is a good way to win games. The success of last season was the amount of players who scored more than 10 goals, and we are going to have to do that again. We used moments of the game we knew could exploit really, really well. The subs did really well and had a big impact. Everyone was really focused. This is the second part of the season, and we want to tackle it with a lot of aggression and motivation. I would like to play 3 days after, but it is what it is. We will keep preparing and we must continue to do better and improve as a team. What's next? Arsenal's next game is away to Nottingham Forest in the Premier League on Tuesday, January 30th. The Gunners then host title rivals Liverpool in a huge game on February 4th. Crystal Palace are next in action at home to Sheffield United in the Premier League on Tuesday, January 30th. The Eagles then travel to rivals Brighton on Saturday, February 3rd. Let us know what you think about the entire thing in the comments section below. Additionally, stay tuned and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and updates from around the world. We sign out.